Big up. Wagwan, where you deal with, where you depend, where you pre up top. Blessings, you know? But all I can say is wow. Because that was amazing. Like Manchester City versus Real Madrid, and to be honest, my prediction going into the game was 2-0. You know, I said Haaland to score both. I expected a better performance from him, from his first leg display where I don't think we got him into the game. So I was expecting us to have more control of the game, and then Haaland would thrive from that. But 2-0 was my prediction, scoreline wise, because I saw it being that tight of a game. Like, but the result, the fact that we got my 2-0 prediction in just the first half is absolutely amazing. First of all, this wasn't the team that played, by the way. Bernardo was on the right. We had Gundogan there. Grealish on the left. This was the team that started. And honestly, this brother, this man, we need to keep him past this season. Honestly, it's so difficult because I don't want to change anything with this team. These players are like some of the world's finest players at this point in time. And people do not put enough respect on Manchester City in that regard. Like, if right now I have no doubt in my mind that Bernardo Silva is top 5 midfielders in the world, bar none. Like, he is in that top 5 list right now, honestly, in my humble opinion. And he doesn't get that respect. But today, I bet people will start putting more respect on this man's name right now, because this was absolutely an immense performance. And they don't even have the excuse, like, you know, if he does this in the Premier League, which he also does sometimes, like, they don't have the excuse to say, oh, you know, he just did it against Everton, you know, he just did it against Southampton, you know, respect to those teams. But still, like, this is against Real Madrid, you know, heritage kings, mentality monsters, owners of the competition, 14-time winners, which, you know, these are all popular opinions, and a lot of people will say these are even facts. But yeah, Real Madrid is a team that you have to put massive respect on at any point in time. That's what all of those have in common. Everybody knows that. And as a football fan, you have to respect that. That's my thought on it. But if a team can put in this level of performances against this monster team, who in my opinion is the favorites for the whole competition, because that's all I hear. They are mentality monsters, historic winners. They are literally the defending champions. Don't forget that. They won it literally last year and they beat us. So if we can come back a year after that from capitulating in that way in the final minutes, losing a 2-goal advantage and sending the game to extra time and losing it there, like, this level of performance, I've spoken about it time and time again this season. We talk about the RB Leipzigs, where we draw 1-1 in their home ground, and then we take it back to the Etihad. We beat them 7-0. I was not saying we're going to beat Real Madrid 7-0. I said 2-0. But the fashion of the win would have been the same fashion, because you would draw the first game and then take it back home and get the job done there. Against Bayern, it was slightly, you know, inverse, mirrored, you could say, because we had the home game first. But in this instance, we are not trying to, you know, stay alive in the first half and taking it back home. We're actually getting the game won at home so we can see out the second leg. And what this shows is that we can actually change it up. If we don't get the best start in terms of winning the tie, it's still in a salvageable state where you can win the tie at home as long as you win that game, and you don't even need like a massive win to get past it. Plus, you have the advantage of it being at home. So in the second instance, it's more pressure on the first game, because this is your chance to make the best claim you can on winning this tie. You win that, you go up to their Allianz Stadium, you stay alive in the game there. But what we did here is similar to what we did against Leipzig. Draw the first leg and look at this massive performance. Like, So many players have had absolutely amazing games, and I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to big up all of them. But Ederson, let's be real here. We saw Vinicius, who is up there in terms of players, best players in the world right now. Let's not get that mistaken. Vinicius Jr., Karim Benzema, Rodrigo, Karim Benzema, who Ballon d'Or winner just last season, and Rodrigo, who literally made the comeback for Real Madrid against us last season. Don't put disrespect on his name either. Valverde, another brilliant player. Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, who like these are some of the best players we've actually seen this past era. We're looking at, and none of them could score past Ederson today, and it's not because of lack of chances. Even he made some great saves. That I think it was Alaba free kick. I know Alaba is really good on free kicks, by the way. I knew that before he went to Real Madrid, and he actually hasn't lost it at all. I haven't seen him take a lot of free kicks for Real Madrid since he's been there, but from that I can tell that he still has it. I think he took one. The one that I saw, he took that against Osasuna in the Copa del Rey final, and that was really really close. But yeah, I knew he was a danger, but Ederson was there. He hit the bar. I'm not saying Ederson made the save there and he's the reason why it's out, but even if he had gotten that more perfect to dip under the wall and get under the bar, Ederson would have been there. He would have been there to make that save, and that's what you really expect from your goalkeeper. He's in those correct positions, similar to Courtois today. And in my small preview after bigging up Bernardo Silva, I mentioned how both goalkeepers would be there mentally to see out the tie, and I was right. Both of them had good games in my opinion. The scoreline is the only thing that Courtois gets hard done by, but he had some really good saves in that first half and the second half as well. I think Haaland's best goal scoring option, no, two or three of his best goal scoring chances got saved by Courtois. And yeah, he did. Two headers and the one that hit off the crossbar. Both of them from Haaland. Courtois made those saves, and those were clutch saves. So both goalkeepers, in my opinion, had a good game. But the rest of our defense as well, Kyle Walker, where is Vinicius? People are telling me about how he's going to get skinned, and yes, I know Vinicius is probably the best left winger in the world right now. I think he's definitely 100% in that conversation, if it's not like anonymously agreed that it's him. Got pocketed today by Kyle Walker. Just being real, absolutely pocketed. He had one great chance where he got behind him, and Kyle Walker was just there. He one I think slide tackle and took the ball from him. Absolutely amazing. This guy is a veteran, absolute veteran of the team, and you are one of those players who, you need this Champions League, man, because that is when they'll start putting respect on your name. And when you check it up, this is a guy who has pocketed Mbappe in a Champions League semi-final. I'm not sure if they met them in the semi-finals or the quarters, but he had his battles against Mbappe as well against at Manchester City. And in all these situations, Kyle Walker has come out on top. Even against Vinicius last season, he actually pocketed him up until he got his injury and came off the pitch. So, Kyle Walker, man, you are one that will never not get respect from me. I will put you in all of those conversations, and people will have to respect you, because you absolutely brilliant right back, man. Big up sitting at the chat as well. Hello, bro. I see you in the chat. I hope you watched that game, because it was absolutely stunning. Like, I cannot believe that we won in such a fashion. When we won against Bayern Munich, I got the same feeling. Like, these are teams who are massive teams in Europe. They have so much history in this competition and in football in general. And these are all the teams that people try to tell City that we are not. So the fact that we can beat these teams now in the quarterfinals and the Champions League and the semi-finals as well, like, that alone shows you the level that this team is playing at. And I think we have all the chance of winning it. I'm not putting anything past Inter and saying we are going to win the Champions League final for sure, but I 100% believe that we will. because that's what this team gave me today. Like full faith, full belief, we will get the job done. Best performance I've ever seen from a team against Real Madrid. Honestly, I've seen teams dominate Real Madrid before as well, but and when I say dominate, I mean in terms of like winning the game convincingly. Not like 4-0 all the time. But like it's not as if Real Madrid were even bad today. They were fairly good, but we were so good in the midfield and in the defense that we afforded so much control of the game. And you could tell that this was a home match because how calm every single player on the pitch was. Every single one of them were just absolutely relaxed, and the atmosphere like the atmosphere was so insane, man. That first half performance was the best brand of football I ever watched because I didn't watch Pep's Barca. I completely understand what you mean, bro. Because, man, like if we can put in that level of performance against Real Madrid, and that's just aside from just the scoreline and the manner in which we won, we can definitely feed from that like the push that's going to give us into the final. We can definitely look at that. Don't underestimate Inter and get the job done again. It's literally the same type of game that this one was. For me, the first leg didn't really exist because the game was tight. It was 1-1. There's no away goals advantage, and it's just who wins on the day that gets into the final, and we're playing it at home. So the only difference between that and the final now is that we're not playing at home. We're playing in Istanbul. And our fans should be out there in our numbers as well. So the atmosphere, they should still have that energy to feed off and know that you win one game today, you make it to the final. I mean, you win the Champions League final. It's that simple. Just get the job done today. Execute the game plan. I'm sure Pep will have the right game plan. That's how much I believe in him. Just execute it to a T or as best as possible, and you will lift that trophy. Or you should have full belief that you can lift that trophy. And that is the best you could have done in your attempt to win the trophy. And by the time we get there, we could have potentially already done a double this season. That's what I'm hoping for. I think treble is on fully. I think the three-peat is on right now. And if we win this Premier League trophy against Chelsea, we would have done it at the Etihad. I don't even want Nottingham Forest to beat Arsenal. I want it to be that we have to win against Chelsea to win the Premier League. So it will feel like a final, and we're playing it at home again. So we'll beat them and then officially be Premier League champions, lift the trophy at home in front of the fans, go to Wembley, where that is already sold out as well, I believe, beat your biggest rivals, Manchester United, in the final, lift the trophy in front of the fans at Wembley, and then go on to the Champions League final a week after that. Like, that would be an absolutely massive week. Absolutely massive. And there will never be mercy for Man United when we're playing them. Trust me. I want to see us demolish them every single time. I'm so glad the final is against them. I think Brighton would have made it, a less of an emotional game, and we could have more likely to, just leave it to football in terms and beat them. But I think that the spectacle of the final for the FA Cup will be a massive one as well. I think a lot of people will want to go to that game and watch it. So I think the traction from it and the vibe and the atmosphere there could be insane. If you repeat that against Inter and United, that's going to be a bloodbath. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't want us to take our foot off the gas from this. I want us to celebrate this like as hard as I can today, maybe even tomorrow, but after that, full 100% focus on Chelsea, because we are not messing up this season. I've said it in my little 13-minute preview before the match. You can go ahead and check that out as well. Just a little 13-minute video. Shouldn't take you too long to finish. And that's after this. You will hear when I said this Chelsea match is the next. Sid, don't worry about it. I think we just will do enough that we need to get the win. So I don't think it will be like a 4-0, 5-0, unless it's just really bad that day. But I think the team just go out there, get the job done. I think close to the end of the game we might see some changes just to keep players' seasons going. But we're on a mission. We are definitely on a mission. So Man, back to the players that I wanted to give some big ups to. Ruben Diaz, he's like immense leader at the back. I don't think him or Akanji put a single foot wrong today. Like there was virtually no threat from Benzema unless he literally went into the midfield to get onto the ball. And like Rodrigo, he got substituted before doing anything. He was the player who literally won the like kept Real Madrid in the tie last season. He started today and he couldn't even affect the game. That's how good Akanji was. That isn't even a diss against Rodrigo because he definitely was trying. I saw when he got on the ball in a couple of instances, but Akanji had the beating of him every single time. So massive respect to Akanji for that. I think there might be a heavy rotation because of the performance they put today. I don't think so. I genuinely don't. Even against who was the game that we played before? Who was the team that we played? Everton. Even against Everton, there wasn't really much heavy rotation. There was slight rotation to a couple of players. I know Stones didn't play and KDB didn't play. I think those are the only changes, honestly. Because I think Diaz played. I think Gundogan played. Bernardo also didn't play, and Haaland played the game. So yeah, I think there was minimal changes in that game, in my opinion. But I do think that, and we'll want to start the game strong as to not like let it get away or get too late, and then we're trying to chase back the game, and then maybe players like Raju will have to play the full 90. But that's neither here nor there. Right now, it's Real Madrid time. Chelsea will get its full focus 100%, but right now it's just dissecting this Real Madrid match. Rodri for me, if Bernardo Silva did not get man of the match today, and he is, it would be Rodri because he is another one who didn't put a foot wrong. Defense, offense, he controlled that entire midfield today. The entire midfield was just it had Rodri's name all over it. I think he had a couple of challenges in there that you could potentially look at as tough challenges, but that was the game today. I think the ref was also really poor, but what Rodri did today was so it was much cleaner than the fouls that you were getting from the Camavingas and the Carvajals and the Militaos of Real Madrid. Like he was so dominant in everything he did today, and this performance from me is one of the best I've ever seen from Rodri. Like if I was giving player ratings, Rodri and Bernardo Silva would get 10 out of 10 from me. But the only difference would have been that, Bernardo Silva get man of the match. Or Rodri get like I might be 9.5 if I'm being picky. But aside from that, both of them I get 10 out of 10. Stones today in the midfield, just the same effect that you get from Rodri, but not entirely on that same level. But still, the fact that he can do that as a centre back is insane. It's absolutely insane. And he had his moments where he was just holding on to the ball so well in that midfield area when getting pressed by Real Madrid. So the quality from this man, he's another one that needs to get into more of the conversations like Kyle Walker does, because he's very, very, very underrated in the team. And last person I want to big up today is Jack Grealish. Absolutely amazing. This is another one of those fighter performances that I love to see from him. I see this is exactly what he was bringing to Aston Villa. Like this warrior gameplay where he can still be a creator. Like he's just winning fouls and beating his man like 9 out of 10 times because of that quality. He's taking corners now, whipping in good corners into the box, and he's getting double teamed and still holding on to the ball, making plays out of those circumstances. Like this man also deserves his respect. And how he started his season at City, a lot of City fans didn't like it, but everyone loves him now because that's the level that he's playing at this season. Like, man, this has to be one of his best seasons of his life, in his opinion. That's how good I think Grealish has been this season. And right now, you have to play all of our big games right now, 100%, 100%. But anyways, I wanted to keep this fairly short. I doubt I did a good job at that because I'm just really excited about this performance. 4-0 against Real Madrid. 4. And we keep the clean sheet, which is one of the biggest parts of my prediction. I was very confident we would keep a clean sheet today. Everyone else's prediction I saw, bar a few people, went for like 3-1, 2-1, or a Real Madrid win. But I wanted that clean sheet, and I knew the team would want that clean sheet as well. Diaz was fighting for it. Walker was fighting for it. Akanji as well, and Ederson. So all of our defensive line, like even the forward players in that latter part of the game, every time Real Madrid got on the ball, like Walker was the first man back. He's over to Vinicius as soon as it gets to him. He's there watching him, and he's shoveling everybody else go back, and everybody else is just covering that space behind him. So it's basically so similar to what Van Dijk did for Liverpool, where he would be that first guy and then usher them away from the goal, allowing time for the other players to drop. But it's the same concept, because Walker is doing that, but for us, and in my opinion, he's faster than Van Dijk. So in that point in the game where the result is on the line, we know Real Madrid are getting desperate, and they're taking more risks, pushing more players forward, making more like attacking changes in terms of substitutions. Everyone in the team wanted to get back and help out on defense, and that was a big part of the difference today. Last thing I want to say, put some respect on the Etihad Stadium. So much disrespect I've seen on the Etihad Stadium this season. I've been told by Liverpool fans that they're coming to win at the Etihad. I've been told by Arsenal fans that they're coming to win at the Etihad. I've been told by Bayern fans that they're coming to win at the Etihad. I've heard from Real Madrid fans that they're coming to win at the Etihad, and all of them got dealt with. And it wasn't even like, oh, 1-0, like dodgy penalty goal, or own goal or something like that. No, it was some batterings, because that, like, at home now in the Champions League, 26 games unbeaten, spanning back to 2018. It's been 5 years since then. Well, this group stage would make it 5 years since that result. So the fact that we have this amazing level of performances in the Etihad in the Champions League, and it will go on for another season, the record lasting that at least, that gives the team so much confidence going into all of our home games. And our form now in the away games this season on the run to the final has again been amazing. Pep, you know the job you have to do now. I think you have the plan, the full blueprint. You know the job you have to do in terms of how we finish out the season, and I 100% believe there is no better man for the job. I think you have all the tools you need in regards to this team. I think this system you found is potentially your best one yet since you've been at Manchester City. In my opinion, it's that good. And I just hope that by the end of this season, we're all on the same page, and we're talking about 3 parades, or a parade for like 3 times as big as it normally would be. That is what I'm talking about. So let's see. We'll be back in a couple of weeks, actually, because I'm leaving the state for a couple of weeks. So in May, in the end of the month, I should be back here, and that should be just before the FA Cup final and after the Chelsea game. So and maybe a couple more Premier League. I think the Premier League would have been wrapped up by the time I come back. So there may or may not be a video after that Chelsea game, but we'll see about that. And until then, I'll be back for the FA Cup final. So until next time, guys, soak in this performance. I might go watch back this whole match again, and I'm thinking about trebles. I'm dreaming about trebles right now for the next couple of days. So until next time.